What's up, guys? My name is Sawyer Hartman, and today, if you've ever wondered what gear your favorite content creators keep in their bag to make everything they do possible, well, you're not alone. Today I'm leaving for a month-and-a-half trip through Italy to capture an insane amount of content, so today I'm going to show you all the gear that I've packed into this one little camera bag. Let's do it. It's really heavy though. What's up, everybody? My name is Sawyer Hartman. Welcome to today's video. Hopefully one of many what's in my camera bag videos because, well, as you're about to find out, every camera bag packing is very different for every trip you go on. Well, the gear you bring changes from trip to trip based on what you're trying to capture. It's kind of like a handyman who has a toolbox. If he's building a house or if he's repairing pipes, there's probably going to be some different tools in the toolbox he chooses to bring. Well, nothing changes when it comes to cameras. Now, everyone knows that content creator who just takes all their gear with them everywhere. They have like 5 bags with them. They're constantly weighed down and complaining about back pain. That is not what we do here. Because I'm usually just traveling with Angelique, who's also doubling as my model, and I don't have any assistants or people working for me, so I limit the camera gear that we bring to 1 bag per shooter, or per assistant, which in most scenarios is just me. The reason that I only allow myself to bring 1 camera bag is very simple. I have 2 hands, one of which will be holding a camera, which means the other hand can only be holding 1 bag. The other rule that makes packing for trips harder for me is that 1 camera bag has to also be able to go in the overhead above your seat on an airplane, both domestic and international. I also try to make sure all of my gear is accessible within a couple seconds so that I'm not constantly repacking and unpacking my bag. So it's about time that we get into what bag I'm actually using and what's in it. But first, any content creators who are watching this, I urge you to make one of these videos, please. This isn't a video I'm doing merely for views. I want to see how you pack your camera bags. I want to see what gear you are choosing to take on your trips to capture the content that you're creating. I find these videos so overly entertaining and also very interesting. So if you enjoy this video, let me know in the comments below or by giving it a like, and I will make sure to make one from every big trip that I go on. Moving on to the camera bag. First off, the camera bag I'm going to be using is the Tenba Cinelux 25 roller. After years of hiking the Great Wall of China and traveling around tons of countries with like a 70-pound backpack, I've finally made the move to a rolling bag, which makes all of the difference in the world. Especially a rolling bag with some structure, because little pro tip, if you're like on a subway or just sitting on a sidewalk waiting for someone, you can actually set the bag upright like this and then sit on it like a seat. So not only do you have a camera bag, but you have a portable seat. The other big thing that drew me to this bag is it has like an open top type scenario. So when you're going through the airport, instead of taking all of your gear out, you can merely open the bag, send it through, and they can just look in and go, yeah, looks like camera stuff. So for this trip, I'm going to be attempting to create vlog content, cinematic content, and photos. So just to recap, we have vlogging, filmmaking, and still photography all crammed into 1 bag. Let's move into the tools that I've chosen to actually be able to create these things. First off, I'm very happy to report this bag only weighs 37 pounds. Now, that might sound like a lot to other people, but camera people, you know what I'm saying. Under 60 pounds is a very good day for a bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the flagship camera that I'm bringing. This is going to be the body that I capture all of my cinematic content on. It'll also probably double as like a studio vlogging camera, kind of like the setup I have right here. And for that camera, I am bringing the Canon 1DX Mark II. Now, you guys know me, this is a powerhouse of a camera. I've wrecked a motorcycle on it, I've climbed a mountain on it. This thing is indestructible and an absolute beast of a content creation machine. I've made so many videos about this camera, I don't need to talk about it much more. Canon 1DX Mark II is going to be my main body for the cinematic video. Now up next, I'm actually gonna have some lenses that are gonna be used on the 1DX Mark II, but make note, I have adapters so the other 2 camera bodies I've brought can also take these lenses. The first lens in my bag is going to be the Sigma 1.4 art lens, which is a 35mm just beast of a photography lens. You guys know I love 35mm for the ability to actually capture your subject as well as a location. For travel vlogging and travel video, this is a dream lens. Up next, I have a specialty lens that I'm probably gonna be making a video on in the next couple weeks. This is Canon's EF 100mm L Series 2.8 macro. This lens specializes in macro photography, but can also be used for incredible headshots and portraits if you just take a few steps back. So if you're watching my final video from Italy and you're wondering how I got the threads and details in the fabrics and the foods, That's this guy. The next lens I'm going to bring is a very, very heavy 12 to 24 f4 from Sigma. Now this lens usually doesn't make it into my bag because of how heavy and big it is, but for a city like Florence with some really, really big buildings, I really know I'm going to be wanting at least 12mm to get super wide and see everything. Now some people in the comments might be asking why I'm not bringing my 16 to 35 instead of this lens. It's because I'm bringing a separate camera for vlogging. So this lens will not be used for vlogging. It will only be used for wide angle video and photography. This lens probably adds like maybe 3 pounds to my bag. It's heavy. And the last lens I'm going to be bringing dedicated to the 1DX is Canon's 70 to 200mm L Series 2.8. Now you may have seen this lens before. This is the headshot photographer and wildlife photographer go-to lens. This is the lens I'm going to be using to really zoom in on things that are far away. And then just in case things are a little bit further away, I also have a Canon 2x converter inside my bag that can attach to this and make it 140mm to 400. So having just these two simple things in your bag means now I can go shoot wildlife if I want to. And with that, the 1DX is finished. Now the second body I'm choosing to bring is the Canon EOS R, the brand new Canon mirrorless camera. But I might not be bringing this for the reason you think. Even with the flip out screen, even at full frame, this is not going to be my vlogging camera because it's a little too big and clunky for me. The Canon EOS R for this trip is going to be my dedicated photography camera. Now, if you're asking yourself, why would I take photos on this rather than the 1DX? The reasoning is I know the 1DX is going to be on a Ronin S for the majority of my trip. Having a second body dedicated for photography means when I see a photo that I want to capture, I don't have to take the 1DX off the Ronin S. And even though this camera might add a couple pounds to my bag, not having to rebalance the 1DX all the time is going to save me so much time, it's really worth it. Now, the Canon EOS R will work with all the lenses I have here with an adapter I'm bringing, but I will also be bringing the Canon 50mm 1.2 L series with the brand new lens mount that will only work on the EOS R. Whew, there's even more in here. I've got an intervalometer in my bag for the 1DX just so I can do time lapses, hyperlapses, stuff like that. So for my designated vlogging camera, I'm going to be bringing the Canon M50, which has a beautiful little flip out screen. Camera's really, really small and it's got a vlogging lens on it as well as a microphone. I can leave this set up in my bag so I can grab it anytime, talk to camera, and it'll be ready to go. If I have to set up one of these cameras for vlogging, I'll probably never vlog. We're already at an incredible amount of stuff that I'm bringing. It's weird for me to even start to see it on a table, but there's more in this bag and the things that are left are huge. You've probably noticed so far I have nothing designated for aerial photography. Well, in this bag, I have the DJI Mavic. Very compact, small little drone. I would be bringing a Phantom 4 if I had one more person helping me because it requires its own bag. But wait, there's more. All right, I only got one thing left. The last critical piece of gear I was able to fit in this camera bag is DJI's new gimbal, the Ronin S. Now, I was just as shocked as you when I found a way to fit this in my bag, but I did. For the majority of my career, I've usually just shot on glide cam, but this little gimbal stole my heart last week, and now I'm taking it to Italy. So this Ronin S gimbal will be doubling as my GorillaPod, my tabletop tripod, as well as my Steadicam. And well, together, this is all of the gear that I was able to fit in this one pretty small little bag. Now, my goal for this was not just to show you what I was able to get in there, but also kind of show you my mindset into how I pack, and why I bring the gear that I'm bringing. Also, before I forget, the one other thing that's in a side pocket of this bag is a little Pelican case for all my SD and CFast cards. And also in the same pocket as that memory card is 2 batteries for each of the things you see here on this table. So I usually start with the pieces of gear that have a hard time fitting. Now that that's tucked away, I can move on to some of the bigger pieces like the 1DX Mark II. The next thing I'm going to do is start grabbing the bigger items like the 70 to 200 and making room for them anywhere in the bag they can fit. But when I try to make them fit, I'm going to make sure they're as close to the other gear I've already placed as possible. This creates the most opportunity for being able to stack things in like this. Take some of the bigger lenses like this and put them along the side. Again, taking the super chunky lenses and getting them in first to make sure that they fit. I can then take pieces like this controller and start sliding them in places that they just fit with the bigger gear. This way, I don't need an individual compartment for the controller when I can really just slide it next to the drone. Notice how now I can just grab my vlogging camera and mic all in one hand, take it and go. And then finally, I take all of the remaining little pieces like these lens adapters and I place them wherever they can go. And there you go. Within about 2 minutes, we have packed the entire bag of gear that should last me the whole month. On average, it takes me about 4 to 5 hours to pack my gear for a trip this big. I could probably do it quicker, but honestly, it's a little bit like therapy for me. So that brings me to the question of the day. What is in your camera bag? And that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, found a little bit of value or entertainment somewhere throughout it. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. I make a brand new film and photography related video every single Thursday and Sunday. And as always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and supporting the channel. If you want to check out my brand new photo presets, the link will be in the top line of the description or somewhere close to the top. You might have to look. But before I go, remember, stay motivated, stay inspired, and never stop creating. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace.